This is the final video for how to do the lab on grassland survey. So what you have just finished doing is plotting the data for, or surveying the number of plants that are in plot 2 and surveying the number of plants that are in plot 4 of your grassland. And you've recorded that information into your data sheet, right? And so for plot 2, you would have the following data: 1, 4, 1, 4, 3, 6, 4. And the one that you probably did not get to fill out because I didn't explain it to you is this one on buildings and roads. So let's do that one right now just so you can see how that would work. So let's go to our plot 2. And what we have is we have man-made structures. Okay, well, here's a man-made structure. It's gray. And you can see that from our key that's down here. All man-made structures are a grayish color. And so here, that man-made structure took up 2 survey plots, 1, 2. And down here, this man-made structure took up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2 of those, so that would be 6 plus 6, that would be 12. So 12 plus our 2 up here would equal 14. So in our survey, we would have that there would be 14 man-made, or 14 squares that would be occupied by man-made structures. So once we have all that information, you would go ahead and go to your data analysis, which is down here, and you record. So first thing you would do is record the number of native species. So you just go back to your data and you would add up the number of native species that you have. So here's our native species, so you would just add the numbers. Oops, excuse me. So here's your native species. So you would just add the numbers. 1 plus 4 is 5, 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. And you would add them up. And you would put that number right here. And if we do the addition correctly, that number would be 13. And then you do the same thing for the non-native species. So you go back up to your data and you count up the non-native species and you record that number, and obviously it's going to be much bigger. And if I did that right, that would be 73. And then we already know how many quadrants are going to be of your man-made structures, and that's going to be 14. And hopefully if you add this up, 13 plus 73 plus 14, you're going to have total number of quadrants, which is going to be 100, which it should be, so that we can make doing our percentages easy. So you would go ahead and do that same thing for plot number 4. Then you would come down and answer the questions. What percentage of the quadrants in plot 2 have native species? And again, since this is 13 out of 100, it would just be 13%. And the same thing for what percentage of the quadrants in plot number 2 are non-native, and so that would be 73%. Okay, then you would go ahead and do the same thing for quadrant 4. Now I'm leaving it up to you to get the numbers for plot 4 from your data, which hopefully you took a picture of before you submitted it. And something else, if you notice the worksheet that you have is different than the one on the video or was previously. So we have edited it so that this is a more recent edition. So let's move on. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to skip this part about making a graph, and you're going to come back to that. I made another video for that, and we're going to jump down to here. So use your graph to answer the following questions. At which plot, 2 or 4, did you find non-native species? So you just go back to your data and you just tell me which one's more. Where did you find more non-native species? Was it plot 2 or is it plot 4? Okay, then based on that, you're going to come up with a hypothesis. So why would you have more non-native species in one place versus the other? And to answer that, you should really go back to your data or to your plots to look at that. So this is a picture of the grassland study site, and we were looking at plot 2 right here and plot 4 right here. So you need to come up with a hypothesis. Why would we have more non-native species either at plot 2 or at plot 4? And you need to think of a reason based on what is around. So what is around plot 2 that possibly might have had more non-native species there? Or what is around plot 4 that would possibly make it so that there's more non-native species there? So that's what you're doing with your hypothesis. And then you will be done with this part of the lab. The next thing up will be how to make a graph so that you can insert that graph here, and we'll be doing that in Word. That concludes this video.